IP versus LP. I thought that would be a really good video for this and how you can use IP to make your life so much easier. A lot of times, we have people that go, oh, this person has too much IP. But what does that really mean? See, the thing is that we're all bound by operation instructions. We're all bound by standard operation procedures. Now, IP should never go against the lesson plan or the policies anyway. So what is really IP? Well, let's get started with this real fast. Did you know that Reveille is IP? Safety briefing of the day. There's no timing of safety briefings. It's just something we have to do in our daily activities as a military training instructor, and we get it all out of the way. And this is one way that BMT does their thing. So if you look at the regulations right now in 2024, you're not going to see anything on how to conduct Reveille. It's IP and how it's conducted. Imagine that. Dust downs. Dust downs is IP. It's not going against any regulations. It's a way of getting something done right. Phasing. That's another one. It's just a thing to make life easier. And there's so much more IP out there that people have adopted as a normal operating procedure, and they think that it's a policy, and it's not. It's just that somebody came up with a way. And you know what IP is? It's innovation. See, I'm the big idea fairy. I'm always looking for a way to make things a little bit easier. So I was talking to one of the instructors of the 320th Training Squadron, and he was talking about innovation and how important innovation is and how we have to continually to innovate. So, but when we innovate, we have to make sure we're not going against any regulations whatsoever. So let's talk about innovation for a second. I do dust downs in the latrine. This is how I do it. Team, they all start. You get one per two sinks. Spread them out. And they do the mirrors, sinks, pipes, runner. 30 seconds. Get it all out. Then they rotate to a shower. And they do 2 minutes and they hit a wall. Everybody hits a wall. So you might need 2 trainings per wall if you're in ATC, 1 training for a wall for if you're in an RGT. And you count, you have a countdown just like you would do in dust downs. So I say about 2 minutes for a countdown. Trainings have these. Let them use it. And if I don't hear people count down, I don't think anything's getting done. Make sure that when you're doing the shower area, that they're doing the drains, getting underneath the benches, making sure they're clean underneath that, and everything like that. And you can make it. It's really easy. And then they all rotate to a toilet, knock that out, tell sweepers to go, and they sweep the rest of the stuff. People take out trash, then use flashlights on the ground, turn off the lights if they can, and guess what? Dust reflects. So you put the flashlight down and just scans the ground like this and pick up little dust balls everywhere. That's how I innovate. I also do the strobe lighting like I do in the latrine in the day room. So I'm like, strobe it. Because dust reflects. There are things that you can do to make your life easier and make it easier for everybody. Here's another way I'll innovate. I display all PCs in my hallway. There's no regulation that states that I can't put anything I want in my hallway. So all regulations, not all regulations, but all the evaluations are up. I'm talking about the PCs, y'all. I'm talking about the PCs. They up. They can bring them anytime they want. I got any type of evaluations, wingman check, band and discipline, evac, all in the hallway, because when they have time, they're going to start reading that, especially on EC. I have EC procedures on how to answer the door perfectly on the wall, right next to the EC stand. And how to answer the door, I put it on the door. Now, you might have some section chiefs that go, I don't like it that way. My thing is this, that section chiefs sometimes need to back up and watch something work. Just because you didn't do it doesn't mean that it's illegal because it wasn't your idea first. Some people are like that. Some people say, I don't like it that way. Well, is it a bad thing? Is it immoral? If it's not lit, your MTIs cook if you're a section chief. Let them cook. I put memory work in my stalls. What else are they going to do? They're used to reading their cell phone. So why not I just put memory work on the stalls? There's nothing that says that I can't put anything on the stalls. Period. And does it help the trainee? Yes, it does. Less excuse. Let people cook, leadership. I don't use MTIR checklists. What I have created was an MTI checklist that actually quotes the regulation and the paragraph number in recruit, live, and area maintenance. Verbatim. So I don't allow a checklist that is not in reality, something that could be inspected like bed caps. Did you know that bed caps is not a thing? But yeah, it's on your MTR checklist, but it's not backed by the regulations. Go ahead and look that crap up. There are things on the MTR checklist, at least 10 things that are not accurate, like when it says dust free, and it just says swept. So there's a big difference between swept and dust free. These are things you have to look up. So I create my own checklist. Even my records checklist is straight out of the regs. I don't do some of the regs that need to get updated. I make my own regs. And what does that do for me? It helps me to understand the regs more. So if you look up the 341 box, you know those little divider things don't have to be in there? It just says roster number order. See what I'm saying? Did you know that you don't have to put like PTSD on top or PODS on the top of your waiver form? That's IP. You don't have to do that. I mean, it's what I do. Speaking of that, what I do for my waivers is I highlight, if it's a PODS, I'll highlight the one standing, the one drill that you can get, 1 O and 1 P, and that's it. So when somebody evaluates me, they go, oh, as long as it's 1 P, 1 O, 1 D, 1 S, it's a PODS. If it's a PO, I'll highlight 1 P, 1 O, and that's it. Done. Now, what makes waivers so difficult sometimes? Because these doctors put like self-paced running right beside it. And it is a thing that's self-paced, but I wish they would update the medical review form just to make sure that's accounted for. But anyways, don't let BMT be exactly the way you came and it was introduced to you. Change it. Make it easier for people. Like the way I do control. I teach my instructors how to do control, just them. And they march me around. That's just a training thing that I do that has always worked. I have never had one student ever fail control. And I've had over 20 students. It works. It works. And then I bring the front 5 down. He marches the front 5 down and I evaluate him. And then I bring the rest of the flight down and I evaluate him. And then somebody else evaluates him and it's money. And if the flight understands what's next, there's really nothing to call. But your student will be so far ahead of everybody else because he's teaching the flight what is going to be next based on your positioning or whatever actions you do. Because remember, coaching has to be verbal. So there are things that I do in control to show the flight where we're about to go, and it's not illegal. Change the game. Change the game. I would like to say that a lot of people enjoy watching me do control because they're like, oh man, that makes so much sense. And then through that, a lot of people use my flight for control. And if there's no correctors to call, everybody passes my flight. I love serving my people. I love getting my flight ready. My flight may not like it because they do it over and over and over and over and over again. But afterwards, I asked him, did he miss anything? And he was like, yes, sir, I didn't do this. Yes, sir, I didn't do that. I said, wow, okay. That's good. You know, some people just need to practice more. And it also helps me to realize I need to look up for these mistakes as well. Anyways, continue to invent things that are going to make your life easier. I've been told I have too much IP, and I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You know, do I break the rules? Do I? And sometimes when you're proficient and you're comfortable, it's intimidating. When you enjoy things so much, you enjoy coming to work, you're so pumped up, people hate on you. And I want to tell you, don't even worry about that. Remember, what you're really doing is saving lives. And I love saving lives. I love resetting a foundation of brokenness. They came broken, and you feel some of those cracks in their foundation. And that's through IP and reinventing things to make it easier for your people to succeed, you to succeed, and the people you affect, especially your students. On this BMT because of that. Because it's so open to innovate. It's a wonderful thing, y'all. Okay, I'm out. I hope that y'all understand that IP is awesome. Just don't break the rules. Don't replace IP with policy. And if you think something should change, bring it up to your supervision, bring it up to your MDC, bring it up to stand team, so things could change, so it is in the right, so everybody's successful. All right, until then, y'all, love your faces.